Hello, YouTuber woobers. Can you see me here in the dark? It's about 9 o'clock. Yeah, quarter after 9 in the morning. We lost power last night around 10:30, and so wicked pouring rain. It's still really pouring out there now. So I wasn't smart enough. I should have shut down my computer. The past, it's lasted a long time, but it was my other computer. This computer here uses a lot more power. I should have shut the computer down to conserve it. I didn't think power was on me out as long. It went out 10:30 last night. We're still without power today. And I think almost all the power in in the town has gone out, and a lot of other places in the Berkshires because we have lots of trees. And of course the leaves are still on the trees, so they're liable to knock down some power lines. So right now I'm kind of running on this battery here that runs on my for my computer area is no longer have enough voltage on it to maintain this section. I should have shut down my computer and the monitors. I know I should have shut everything down and I would still have my router. But I wasn't that smart. I wasn't thinking. So on the other side of the house, I'm on my battery bank, and the 3,000 watt inverter. How about I can run my TV, my BiPAP, and my chair, and I don't have oxygen running. I could run a line from the tank in the kitchen in there, but I seem to be doing all right without it, so it's just something else to do. And at this point in time, I don't know when power will get restored, so I gotta conserve and use bare minimum. So my daughters are borrowing my car, so it's not like I can escape and go into town, hang out in a restaurant or someplace. So I'm pretty much stuck here at the moment. So, but it's interesting because this is what we prepare for. A YouTube buddy, Carrie Holzman, that he's constantly telling people to back up their computers for good reasons, because things can happen and you can lose all your data. To always be able to do backups, but he laughs at people that want to have a generator or something that will, because he never loses power where he is. If he loses power, it's only for an hour or two and that's it. He lives down in Arizona. So, it's interesting because its power's been out now for 12 hours. It's not quite 12, but it will be 12. And, not going to open the refrigerator doors unless I absolutely have to, or I can, try to conserve that stuff. I do have blocks of ice in the freezer to maintain some stuff. So here we are, and it's not that hot out. It was, well, I think it's a little cooler now, but it was last night. It was 60 out during the storm. I shut down my computer in my room, in the living room, the media computer, because I don't have internet. So I'm just running off of my, yeah, I have the movies that are on the media center. Was watching that stupid Harry Potter movie. It's, you know, the latest one is just a little too much out of the realm of what I'm used to enjoy it. It just doesn't. I can't seem to make sense of it. But I was able to get a couple hours sleep, and it's probably basically what I'm going to do, because it's dark here, because it's still, as you can see, it's still dark because of the rain. It's a problem with the antenna for the TV, so I have to try to trace down where the signal's been lost for the TV, so that when I'm in this situation, I can at least have access to some local weather. Thought we fixed it, but it wasn't. Guess it's not fixed. So this is what we planned for. All us. Some of us are better at the off-grid stuff, but even this is New England now. You know, if I had solar panels, it wouldn't really be doing me any good, because there's no sun. There wasn't sun yesterday, and there's no sun today. So, you know, it's a generator. That might be something that I'll have to do if this goes on for another day. But I'm pretty faithful that they'll get this thing up and going today. The problem was the power was all the power started going off late at night when the crews can't see, and they have to, you know, work with flashlights and spotlights and stuff. Now, with how it is daylight, they should be able to hopefully get things restored. But other than that, ta-ta, I see the light. See the light. It's on that window right there, but I see the light. And my little, I got this light over here that I ordered it to add a supplement light for videoing, and it really doesn't, it's too hot. But it works for today. This is the perfect situation. Ta-ta! La pa 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 pa. La pa pa pa. Hello, YouTubers. So the power's back on. This is Friday, end of Friday. The power failure was 28 hours. It went off at 10:30 at night, came back on at 2:30 in the morning this morning. And it was touchy-goey, for sure. It really was a good dry run for grid failure for me. It's kind of uneasy about it because I'm here by myself. I live alone with 2 cats, and though I am looking, so if you know a nice lady and doesn't mind living in the woods, it was kind of a good dry run, I'll tell you that. I think my original design would be that I would be people here. My daughters would come over and hang out while we go through the whole thing. But the reality is they have their own lives. they got power restored in their town, which was 2 towns away. This entire town had lost power. And when I was trying to get an answer from the electric company about when will power be restored, they said, well, there's 16 homes left in the town to be restored. And I'm counting the houses. It's like, I think there are 15 houses on this street, 16. There's a side road too, and there's 3 homes on that side road. So a big massive tree came down and took out, you know, fortunately it didn't take out the phone line. So I still had phone line, but my battery backup for the internet, that was the first to go. I thought I had a 100 amp hour battery on it, but it's only a 50. So I probably should think about upgrading that. This computer system is over in this side of the house, and it's on the main panel. So I have basically, as I have a closet with a power panel in it, the original panel, which is a 200 amp panel. And then off of that panel, I have another panel that when I redid the house, all that new outlets on this side of the house went into that box, including the well pump, the furnace, my office area, outlets that I put in around here, some outlets, the kitchen area, refrigerator, all that kind of stuff. And I put a transfer switch on it so I could switch off of the main panel to a generator cable that fished its way around and went out the back of the house through the power room. I probably should have just ran it straight out the back of the house, but I don't know. You know, every plan is the best plan made, and then you realize that maybe I shouldn't have done it that way. Now I do have a generator plug tied to that panel, the main panel, but I have to turn off the main breaker to use it. And that was more of a plug that I had planned. I think it was going to run a welder at the time. It was actually, I was going to use it for the dryer, but then the dryer ended up not fitting in that room. The room that has the hot water tank and the wash machine. The hot water tank is far too large to allow the dryer to go in that room also. So the dryer got moved to another location. And then off of that main panel, the main 200 amp panel, is also is the hot water heater runs off of that panel. So if the grid goes down, basically the hot water is down. But I mean, the tank is a really tank. It's an 80-gallon tank. So if the well's not running, I'm not pulling water out of the tank anyway, so that doesn't matter much. And there are some other breakers in there. There's a couple of breakers of old circuits that are running the house before my time. And then there's also a sub panel coming off of the main breaker that goes to the other side of the house, which is the south side, which has, you know, the living room and the weeds room, which is the greenhouse room. And from that panel ish goes to the dryer. And yeah, dryer. I also have a capacitor, a 1 farad capacitor that's supposed to absorb spikes in the house system. So I'm going to do a separate video of the power room, an updated version. Now there is a video that's on my playlist that talks about the power room, but it's actually out of date. There was a lot of changes made in the room, and I didn't do a new one. And that was old school before I started editing my videos. That was when I just would shoot a video and put it up. So it doesn't have any flair and sparkle and love, lots of love, and the crazy man talking into the camera. So I'll shoot another video explaining the power room on the way I have it designed. So like I say, I have 12 batteries, 12 6-volt Trojan T105s. A couple of them have cracks in them because they had frozen in the woods back when I used to have the power box or the power wagon out in the woods, and not enough solar to keep it charged. So that was when I was a newbie and I didn't know any better. So I'm not sure exactly how many functioning cells are in there. It's probably short a battery or two. So initially, I'm trying to think that the battery bank lasted until around maybe 4 o'clock yesterday. So that would have been 12, 20 hours maybe. I probably could conserve more energy. Primarily what I need for my own personal survival is I need my BiPAP and I need my chair, and I really need my TV. Because otherwise I just go insane. There was some hours spent just sitting in the absolute dark and silence, and I would play music on my phone and also on my radio. I have a radio behind me somewhere. Nope, you can't see it because my chair's in the way. Anyway, I have a radio, a Gundren radio, and it attaches to an antenna that I have, an exterior antenna, and it runs on 6 D-size batteries if the grid is down, or if the backup is dead. So I was listening to music from that, but there wasn't really much on there about emergencies going on in the area. I was rather surprised that the stations weren't really talking about what was really going on, which is about par of the course. They'd rather talk about politics than to talk about people's lives, local lives. But don't get me started on that one. So, yeah, so my daughter came over around 6 yesterday, and she got the one of the generators running. And the way that I have it wired is out there is I have a generator transfer switch, and it will either switch to the main panel, not the main panel, but the secondary panel in my power room over here, or it'll run a 110 outlet in the power room. And what that does is I can unplug the power out of my charger for the battery bank, because I have like an RV, a really good quality RV smart charger that'll charge up the bank of batteries because I don't have solar. And then that would power that end of the house, which would be where my chair is and my backpack and TV, which kind of works that way. And then in the meantime, it'll charge the batteries if it runs long enough. And I was hoping it would run at least out the tank. It holds about a gallon, maybe a gallon and a half, and it would run out of gas. It didn't run out of gas. It ran for about an hour and stalled and wouldn't start again. I couldn't get it going. My daughter came over at midnight. She couldn't get it going. So, you know, fortunately, I just had to last a little longer. I do have bottled oxygen, but it doesn't replace the BiPAP machine. It won't keep my airway open while I'm sleeping, and that's a slight problem. So I've been kind of on catch-up mode with sleep and stuff, but I'm getting better. I'm getting better. So it was kind of like, so what to do to improve things? Well, I'd like to improve my battery storage over here. Now, like I said in a previous video, I didn't turn the computer off. I should have turned the computer off and the monitors off, the printer off, and this light off. If I did that, the only thing it would be powering would be the DSL modem, router modem thing. And that would give me some access to the outside world that I don't have otherwise because I don't have a smartphone. So that's something that I probably will consider is adding another 50 amp hour battery to that unit to have more battery storage. And then I have to decide what to do. You know, the problem is that I don't use the generator very often. I don't think I've actually ran it for about a year or 2 years, because you know how my year has gone. This last year has been a nightmare. So it's we're probably talking 2 years that I ran the generator. So if you don't run it all the time, it doesn't stay healthy. So I'm not sure about what to do with that. It's an ancient, it's a Generac, but it's ancient. It's well over 10 years, maybe more old. Could be 15. And then the PowerMate, the Coleman PowerMate, of course, is probably older, because it doesn't actually, it has the 3-pin, the 3-blade 220 plug on it, not a twist lock on it. So I have to kind of solve that issue. Now, this was a kind of a unique storm. This wasn't a typical storm. If this was ice, it would be even worse, I imagine. But we had a lot of wind and a lot of rain, and it's happening. We still have leaves on the trees, so you know, it was just like slapping a wet mop around. And I haven't been out because my car is in the shop, so is in a repair shop. So I haven't been out cruising around to see what's around. It would be kind of cool to shoot some video of the neighborhood, but can't do that because I don't have a car. But I hear it isn't pretty. I've seen a lot of downed trees all around where it's probably taken out electrical in a lot of places. So this video is longer than I wanted it to be, but how can I take it less? It's probably not very conceivable to have power last longer than I did. I was probably fairly lucky. So now my BiPAP machine, it has a heated hose and a humidifier. So probably the next time is to turn those two off, and that would reduce the power consumption from that device. Maybe I could run on my laptop instead of the 40-inch TV, but I don't know how much power that uses either. I think it did pretty well overall. I think if I were able to start up a generator, what I really need is an auto start, electric start generator, because I just don't have the strength to pull the rope. So I need to make some improvements. Now, if I had solar, it would have been useless because yesterday it rained all day. So even though we're off grid, I don't think I would have gotten any power out of the solar panels. Now, the long-term desire would be to have solar panels, but it's just not in the budget. And I would have to convert my battery bank over to 24 to 48 volts instead of 24 volts, which isn't something that I didn't want to do. It's certainly a doable thing to do, but it might just be easier to try to add more batteries to the bank. So I'm not sure. I'm just going to have to ponder it, and hopefully I'll ponder it before I have another power failure. And the 28 hours is a pretty long time. I haven't been in a power failure that long, although I've heard of them. And there are towns in the area that are still without power. They may not get power until tomorrow. It just depends. They just keep plugging away. I mean, God love these people that are working in the rain in bucket trucks. We have to pay a high electric bill. We're not happy about the power company, but when they're out there dealing with hazardous working environments just to get our electricity back on, you gotta commend them for what they do. So there's a lot in this video, and feel free to comment if you wish. In fact, I would be happy for suggestions on how to improve the system. I'm going to do another video of showing you the power closet, the off-grid power closet. I mean, the other one is just a couple of panels and a transfer switch. There's nothing really, eye-opening in there. But I actually had some trouble remembering how everything worked because you don't think I'd have everything labeled? So it took me a little while to realize that the whole purpose was to feed a 110 outlet so that I could plug the charger into that. It looks like the shutoff voltage was about 21 volts when it dropped below 22. If I had a load on it, it would get an alarm coming off of the Bogart. And it would tell me that, I'm going below. And the other thing I have too is I have a UPS that my chair plugs into. Well, actually, the computer and the TV and that stuff. There's a network box in that room, and just a 4-porter, and the BiPAP and the chair and a light, and they all plug into a UPS. And the battery could definitely be replaced on that with a larger battery. So actually, when the grid goes down, I have a choice to wait for it to come back up or go switch over to the big battery bank. Because sometimes the power goes off for like 5 minutes and comes back on. So, you can imagine how it is because everything is alarmed. The UPSs are beeping, and then there's 2 of them, one here and one over there, like I said, and there's also the concentrator that produces the oxygen. It freaks out if it have a power failure too. So I have all these alarms going off. But yeah, 28 minutes, 23 minutes. I don't know if I can cut some of this out. I didn't want this to go this long. I'm probably going to cut the quality down so it doesn't take a long time to load, since I'm not doing anything creative. So I am going to end it here, and I'm going to put up a video maybe tomorrow for the power closet, and feel free to make comments like many of you do. Ta-ta! Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba.